I've got change for us all. Isn't it restart?
Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure.
The narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that it's really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another Trump administration.
Hi, Dewald. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
All right, legends, welcome to another live stream. A little bit late from me today. I do apologize because I see there were some messages of people asking, Dewald, when you going live? Dewald, when you going live? Well, I'm here, right? So everyone watching right now, all 50 or 36 of you, I can't see the numbers keep on jumping around. Let's take a moment to celebrate the new all-time high. We got there. Well, the price got there. It feels like we got there. Eventually, we got there. We struggled through this whole damn correction. Okay? People will guys, let's just take a time to reflect a little bit over here. Do you guys remember this? Do you remember the roller coaster? The emotions? Do you remember the comments? Maybe you also made some of those comments. Maybe you also felt a little bit of doubt. Maybe you were a believer, right? But I remember these comments because I read through the comments in my live streams, and sometimes, and most of the times, I even read through the comments after my live streams to make sure that, was there something maybe important that I've missed? But I remember the comments during this live stream. Okay, we're going down. We are nuking from here. $62,000. Right, we bearish, we've made the 5-wave structure to the upside. Well, now we have a new all-time high. And for the loyal followers, which is most probably every single one of you, because, ladies and gentlemen, retail is not here. I saw Andy looking at the Google Trends over here as well in terms of altcoin searches and crypto searches on the internet. It's still at all-time lows, which tells me Bitcoin is at all-time high. It has set in a new all-time high, and there's no retail. The last time we were here, there was a lot of retail. There was a lot of people calling for $500,000. There was a lot of people calling for $200,000. There was even some crazy people calling for $1 million. And there was a lot more people here on the live stream. Okay, you might remember it because you were here as well, but you did not fade during this entire fall here to the downside. You stuck to your guns. You believed in the technical analysis. Right, and now we are back at all-time high. Okay, guys, and this is not about me blowing my horn. This is technical analysis blowing its horn. during most 90% of my updates over here, I went through bearish case scenarios, but I kept on saying during every single live stream, this looks corrective. This looks correct. It's too choppy. It's too choppy. It needs to turn around. And when you have impulses to the upside and you see this to the downside, a corrective structure, choppy, difficult to count, difficult to trade, you know that there's a high chance you're going to claim that damn low again. And for those, for everyone, yeah, I can't actually say for those. It's for everyone watching this live stream, because retail's not here. Okay, for everyone watching this live stream, they okay, I kept on saying that there's, during this entire fall year to the downside, okay, say it with me, type it with me, the probabilities are still higher to claim the high before we claim the low. So this is still a corrective structure, and well done. Bitcoin has now claimed the high. Guys, this is not me blowing my own horn. This is me looking at the technical analysis, okay, and identifying that whatever is going down here is corrective and you are going to go up, because I sang the same song during this corrective structure. I sang the same song during this corrective structure, and I got a lot of hate. Because, I mean, it's part of the game, right? It's not everyone that's going to like what I'm saying over here. Because, and most of the hate came from retail. People jumping here into the live stream that's never seen me before. And then, you know, we've made a high over here and price starts falling. And I'm talking about bearish case scenarios, but it looks corrective. And, you know, that's where I got the hate from, because everyone just wants price to continue. Everyone wants price to continue. And by the time we got here, okay, retail was gone. Right, this is where people lost faith, and I'm not sure about you, but did I see a lot of high impact big players in the market that posted on their Twitter accounts or their X accounts that they have sold their spot bags over here. They have sold all of their altcoins. And I actually spoke about it when I did some live streams during this consolidation area. I actually spoke about it. I'm getting a lot of messages from people saying that they've sold. They just can't hold on anymore. We're going into a bear market. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to reflect. And I appreciate all the love that you guys are sharing over here, because I know it was none of you. Okay? Because you are not retail. You are die-hard crypto investors, traders, swing traders. Okay? You have stuck with this channel. You have stuck with me, you have stuck with Andy, okay, and we were buying when it was very, very uncomfortable to buy, because this is where I bought back into altcoins. When I saw people selling, and I told everyone, guys, I just have to buy the fear. It's what I do. I have to buy the fear. These were the words that I used. I have to buy the fear. Dewald, we're going down. I was like, I know we might go down, but I have to buy it. It's so programmed into me that when I see fear, I just have to. I have to buy. I have to buy the fear. Okay. And now that we are here and retail is still not back, maybe Bitcoin still needs to go a little bit higher to bring back retail so we can start taking profits. Right. It was also during this zone I spoke about 5 specific altcoins that I'm buying. Okay. Basically, I bought it during this entire zone over here. The 5 altcoins that I bought, one of which I spoke about very often, was Doge. I analyzed the macro structure. I showed everyone why I am bullish. It still has a higher low. It still has a lot of breathing room. Even if Bitcoin goes to $68,000, it still looks great from a technical perspective. I bought Doge. Okay, the 5 that I spoke about during those live stream was Doge, ICP, Link, Litecoin, one of my favorites. Okay, Litecoin is one of my favorites, and ETH. I spoke about ETH. Right, so for those that had the stomach to buy with me here at the lows, well, right, we are nicely in profits, and it's not just about the profits. We are really good positioned in the markets that potentially will even absorb those little pullbacks along the way if we are going to continue to explode here to the upside. Right, legends. Let me go through some comments, okay? I just wanted to do a little bit of a recap over here. We just have to, you know, for me, what's most important in life is not where we are going. It's not the goal. It's not the $1 million account. It's not the $1 billion account. It's about smelling the roses along the way. It's about, you know, when you have a moment of happiness because finally we took the all-time high, let's just look back and reflect, okay? I mean, this was a difficult road down here. It was a really difficult road, okay? It was also difficult for me seeing that the views on my channel are halving, okay? People on the live streams used to be double what it is right now. So it was also very demotivating, but I stuck through it and I just knew it's going to turn around, okay? And I'm doing it for you guys, the diehard fans. And hopefully, you know, hopefully, or maybe not hopefully, well, I think we have to say hopefully, if we are going to get that altcoin season, let's just pretend for a moment we are going to get an altcoin season that is going to be absolutely epic. I'm going to do a stream when that happens, when the euphoria is in the air, when everyone is asking me, can I buy, can I buy, can I buy? And I'm going to look at this camera and I'm going to stare in this camera and I'm going to say, guys, do you remember the 22nd of May? You that watch this live stream on the 22nd of May, we need to start taking profits. I don't care about everyone that's asking for entries at the moment. I'm asking you that watch the live stream on the 22nd of May. Guys, we need to start taking profits. Everyone else on the live stream is going to be like, fuck, these people are talking about taking profits and I'm asking for an entry. Okay? You are still early. That's all I'm going to say. You are still early. I'll be here for that stream, Mr. Rave. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, you will be here for the live stream because you guys are the diehard fans. You guys are the people that supported this channel, kept trading, learning your strategies, good risk management when everyone, well, most people gave up during this little consolidation, okay? Well, this small little correction to the downside, okay? Just pretend for a moment, okay? Something that I want to start off with from a technical perspective. Just pretend for a moment, okay, that you are a breakout trader. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the 15-minute time frame. Just pretend that this is the 15-minute time frame. So on the 15-minute time frame, you would then be like, okay, if we close a candle above resistance, which is this high, so if we close a daily candle or a 15-minute candle above this high, that is usually a bullish sign. So I'm going to put my stop below the low. We close the candle above, and whatever price does over here, okay, I am expecting price to go higher. And a simple way to work out a profit-taking area, the simplest way, because now you have to remember, now that price is in price discovery, okay, now that price is in price discovery, we do not have any daily levels. We do not have any point of controls. We don't have weekly levels. We don't have price action to identify resistance and support to the up and to the downside. Now your trading strategy needs to change. And this is also what a lot of people struggle with. It's very easy to trade ranges like this when you have price action to support the correction, because you have daily levels, you have weekly levels, point of control, volume areas that you can pay attention to. It's a different trading game when price is in price discovery, because that is always why I preach about this little tool. This little tool over here, boy oh boy, trend-based fib extension is going to become your best friend. Because when price pumps to the upside and there's just nothing to the upside, okay, from a profit-taking or resistance perspective, you're going to have to rely on your trend-based fib extension tool. And that is something that I do specialize in, if I must say so myself, because I love me a trend-based fib extension. The fib retracement used to be my favorite, but when I discovered the trend-based fib and I nailed the levels and, you know, I changed the settings and I was like, ooh, wow, it actually respects the levels better than the fib retracement. Okay, so guys, this is going to become your next best friend. This little tool over here is going to become your next best friend. Okay, anyways, from a profit-taking perspective, you know, I mean, I'm having fun here on the live stream today, legends. I'm having fun. My spot bags are smiling, okay? Simple. yet effective profit-taking area is you will take a FIP retracement tool from the high to the low. Well, there's nothing there. Okay, I need to switch on the settings because I hardly ever use this tool. I use the trend-based FIB extension. So let's go switch on the 1.618. Purple little line over there. Okay, so if this was the 15-minute time frame and we close a 15-minute candle above resistance, so from a breakout perspective, that would be a trade for me, and my trade would be as follow. I enter. That is where I'm planning to take profits, and my stop goes below the low. Risk to reward is a 2.1, which is my minimum requirement. So this is the trade that I'm going to let play out for the day. This is my day trade, because remember, this is the 15-minute time frame. Okay, and this is how we typically play a breakout trade. This is, I must say, one of the worst breakout trade strategies. I don't like this breakout trade strategy, but I know that some people do use it very effectively and very successfully, but you have to have your rules built around it. One of the rules is you have to have a 15-minute candle close above, because we're pretending that this is the 15-minute time frame. So if this is the 15-minute time frame, you want to see maybe even a couple of 15-minute candle closes above. Okay? And then your stop goes below the low, and you are targeting the 1.618. And the only reason you are targeting this FIB extension is because you have nothing upstairs. Okay, so in the absence of nothing, you have to have a level in order to know where to take profits. Because remember the golden rule of trading: if you don't know where to take profits, you should not enter the trade. So I need to know where to take profits. Yes, can it go higher? Of course, we all know the market is here to surprise us. Okay, but you need to have a level. You can't just gun for the 2.618 because it might reject at the 1.618. Right, so this is an obvious trade which most probably gives you a little bit of a scenario of what I'm looking at. Okay. Mr. Sin Games, definitely not as many shorts entering the market. Can I have a pool, have a poll, Dewald? Definitely not as many shorts entering the market. Can we have a poll, Dewald? Let me see liquidity. Let me have a look at liquidity over here. I need to do this. Okay. Well, there's some, what is this? 27, 25. So there's about, we can say there's about 100 million worth of liquidity over here, about 100 million. So definitely some shorts piling in, but I get your point. It's not enough, right? It's not enough. So let's go to the higher time frame. Maybe we can see something on the higher time frame. Yeah, there's definitely more liquidity to the downside than to the upside. Well, downside, I'm looking at $105,000. Okay, so that's a small little pullback. $105,000 is right over here by the red line. Okay, so yes, you could reject. So let's say you take this trade. Okay, you could reject, still make a higher low, and continue. Okay, but you don't know if you're going to get the higher low. You don't know if price is going to continue. So from a breakout strategy perspective, this is the zone where you build your entry. If you get the pullback, you can add a little bit more over there. Right, but you have to leave your stop loss where your stop loss is supposed to go, and you take the damn knock. Okay, you don't move your stop loss. Right, so using this as a 15-minute example, I'm also showing everyone, well, typically, you know, maybe you can trade the daily time frame exactly the way that you trade the 15-minute time frame. I will do a poll in a moment. Okay, I've done a FIB extension for the last for the last wave up from 75. I was trying to work out the top of the fifth wave. We hit 1.618 to perfection, right? Did we hit the 1.618 to perfection from 74? Let me go check that out. Okay, you guys are asking or making some interesting points over here. Okay, so if I take a trend-based FIB, which I love, my favorite tool, from the low to the high to the low, and we reverse it. I'm not sure if this is the FIB pool that you're talking about. You all know that I'm a picture person. Okay, well, I'm not sure from which wave you are measuring it from. Okay, anyways, and I'm not sure if I should talk about the bearish case scenario, guys, because I think if I'm going to talk about the bearish case scenario, everyone's just going to laugh at me. Because, you know, there's a little bit of euphoria in the air. Okay. That daily candle that was sticking out his neck over here. Okay. I just have to always look at both sides of the coin. Guys, we're going to look at the bullish case scenario. There's a lot of time to discuss bullish case scenarios over here. A lot of time. Okay. So let's just quickly take a couple of minutes to talk about the bearish case scenario. If we can close the body of the daily candle above the all-time high, that will be a bullish sign, even if we get a retracement. So let's say by 12 o'clock tonight, we close the body over here. And then by tomorrow, we get a pullback. I'm not going to be scared, because that is a bullish sign. It's a clue. You have a bullish candle close above a key area of resistance. So the pullback will most likely give you a higher low. It pulls back, scares the crap out of everyone, and then before it claims these lows over here, it gets a bounce and it makes another goddamn wave here to the upside. Right? How many waves can you get? If the body of the candle does not close today above the all-time high and it leaves a wick behind, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bearish sign. That could mean that this structure is going to start correcting itself. Okay, so that is why it's important for me to play the patience game. So a lot of people often ask, what do you mean by you need to be patient? I have to wait for that daily candle to close. Okay, if it closes with a wick, that's my sign. So I can't do anything until I see what I need to see. Whether this is the daily time frame, the 15-minute time frame, I apply the strategy in the same rules regardless of the time frame. Right, so that's your bearish case. That's something that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. Okay, do we close a bullish candle above the all-time high? Because we need to break out, and this is not a breakout yet. You have to close the candle above the body, not the wick. You have to close a body above. That's a sign of strength. If you leave a wick behind, oof, it's not going to look good, right? It's not going to look good. Okay, so what I want to go through now is the bearish case scenario. Legends, I'm just going to spend 5 minutes on the bearish case scenario. Laugh all you want, get it out of your system, okay? But I just need to highlight the bearish case scenario as well. The same way that I've highlighted this as a corrective structure, and I said we're going to claim the high before we claim the low there at $48,000. I also just need to always look at both sides of the coin. We're gonna look at the bullish case scenario in a second. Okay, the last bearish case scenario that has not been invalidated is the following. Do I have it still here? No, not that one. Let me draw it over here. Is the following: an A, a B, and a C. Yes, unfortunately, the markets are designed in such a way that there are always a bullish and a bearish case scenario. Always. And it's my job as a technical trader to try and identify both of them every single time. Okay, this is the bearish case scenario, there's the invalidation. This is the bullish case scenario, there's the invalidation. And depending on which one gets invalidated, I get directional bias. Okay, but I mean, you know, this is now the daily time frame, so this can take very long to play out. So if I count this as an ABC, which is a flat, because I still see a lot of people are talking about this. Why did we take the all-time high? We're supposed to fall down. We're supposed to be in a bear market. You know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, for those of you, which is most probably all of you that's been paying attention in class here on the live streams, you can have a corrective structure that takes the high of the impulse. Okay. Now there's a little bit of a conundrum. Okay, so what now? This looks very one wavy to the upside. It looks almost like a straight line here to the upside. A B wave has to be a 3-wave structure. So there's 2 ways in which you can do this. You can say, well, maybe your A ended over there, because there is a valid count where the A could have ended over there, and then this is your 3-wave structure to the upside. But it doesn't make sense because your C wave is overextended. Okay, let me just make sure and show everyone. So if this is A, B, C, I can measure it from the low to the high to the low. Okay, you have tapped the 3 extension, which gives a C wave here to the upside, an A, B, C in a B. So it's a 3-wave structure in a B, very low probability. Maximum target for a C wave is considered the 1.618. I have seen C waves extend to the 2.618, but never beyond that. Okay, yeah, I think there was once. There was a couple of months ago, we saw one that went to the 3.618. Do you guys remember? It was somewhere here or somewhere here. We did see a C wave, but on the smaller time frames. But remember, the larger the time frame, the more accurate the analysis becomes. So on a daily time frame, and even on 8-hour and 4-hour time frames, you know, your higher time frame analysis, you don't want to see things break the rules. 1 minute time frame, they break the rules very often. 2 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour time frame, that's where the rules gets broken. But on larger time frames, technical analysis are pretty solid and very spot on. And that is why it is always easier to analyze larger time frames, because the analysis is more accurate. It doesn't break the rules. Okay, just a little bit of a tip of the trade. So, legends, let's just keep it simple over here. Your A wave has to be here. It has the highest probability. But now this little waves that we formed here to the upside has to be a 3-wave structure. Okay, so you can, unfortunately, count this as a W, X, Y. So that could be a mini 3-wave structure in this straight line to the upside. Okay, but we can measure. Now this is the beauty about these 3-wave structures. That Y wave has a maximum target. Okay, so if Y wave has a maximum target, I know where it needs to get invalidated. So if the price is going to go higher than a certain level, then I know that this corrective structure is invalidated. So that's now where the invalidations starts kicking in. Okay, and that invalidation, ladies and gentlemen, is as follow. You take a trend-based FIB, you guys see, I love this trend-based FIB, from the low to the high over here to this little low over here, and you drag it across. Okay, want to get it perfecto. The most common, I would say 8 out of 10 times a 3-wave structure rejects at this level is the 1-to-1 extension. Okay, I just want to clean up this FIB ever so slightly. I want to take this level out. Don't need that right now. The most common 3-wave structure is the 1-to-1 extension. As soon as price starts piercing this level and it goes, to these levels above, then you start now decreasing the probability. So it doesn't get invalidated, you start decreasing the probabilities. And that's why I always talk about a probability for a scenario. Which one has the highest probability, the lowest probability? And usually I give the structure that has the least amount of mistakes the highest probability. Okay, so this is $116,938. Make sure that you have these FIB extension levels on your chart, because there's nothing to the upside. At least now you have areas of resistance to the upside. So I will have a line over here that says 1-to-1 for the WXY. If price gets here and it gets a reaction, I can get into a short. Little bit above, maximum target for a 3-wave structure. This is considered a maximum target for a 3-wave structure. Usually when it taps the 1.382 and the 1.618, I invalidate it. No more 3-wave structure. It's something else. Okay. But I mean, if price is going to get here at 125, 131, okay, then we know, okay, we're most likely going up. Then it starts invalidating the bearish case scenarios. Then we are in full force inside of the bull market. This is when retail's going to start coming back, and this is most probably where we are going to start talking about taking profits on certain things. We'll see how this plays out and how quickly we get there. Okay, so just to wrap up I did say I'm going to spend 5 minutes here. It feels like I've spent a little bit longer over here on the bearish case scenario. Unfortunately, this bearish case scenario has not been invalidated. So if there are still bears out there, okay, I'm trying to stay as absolutely neutral as I possibly can. If there's still any bears out there, right, you have a WXY three-wave structure in a B, and you expect a rejection to come and take the lows again. But guess what? Guess what? Because I have spoken about this corrective structure. Even if we take the low at $74,000 again, I am still bullish, because while price is falling here to the downside, guess what I'm going to say? I'm going to say what I've been saying all along. We're going to take this high before we take the low. And, you know, this is where people disappear again. You don't see them ever again. Okay, they've burnt their accounts. They sold all their altcoins. They're out the market. It's very boring. And then I'm most probably going to be here again saying, guys, I'm buying. But I have to just put it out there that this scenario at the moment carries lower probability than some of the bullish case scenarios. So there's the good news. This scenario carries lower probability. It's not invalidated than the bullish case scenarios. Okay, so there's the good news. There's the good news. Okay, remember to smash up that like button for the education. Okay, I know everyone wants to have a look at their favorite altcoin. We can go through some altcoins in a moment. I asked a very interesting question this morning for our Legends Pro community. Okay, just want to open this up. Okay, I did like my video. Legends Pro community, you can join with this link over here. I asked them a very interesting question, and I said, because I got asked the same question a couple of times this week. Especially for some reason, I got asked this question this week the most times. But it's also the question that I hate the most. Dewald, what altcoins are you buying? Okay, I see the market is going up and I've got a little bit of cash on the side and I want to buy something. Which ones do you think is the best? Okay, I hate it when people ask me that question. I will share with you what I am doing, but I do not want to necessarily answer family and friends because they blindly buy things without doing any research. So I usually just keep my mouth shut and say, well, if you really want to know, you should watch my live streams. Okay. But I asked a very interesting question to the Legends Pro community this morning to ask if you could only choose 3 altcoins, assuming that we are going to get an epic alt season. So it's based on an assumption. Let's assume that we are going to get an epic altcoin season, and you could only have 3 alts in your portfolio. What would it be? Okay. That was a very interesting question, and the answers I got was very intriguing. I am still analyzing some of those charts, so for the pro members that answered me with your 3 favorite altcoins, I'm actually taking some time and I'm doing some proper technical analysis on every single token that you've told me that you like, if you could only have 3. Okay, so in maybe tomorrow's live stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the altcoins that was proposed, and I'll take some altcoins here from the community as well, and we can then together look at, well, how bullish does that structure actually look? Remember, guys, if we are going to go into an altcoin season, every single altcoin, okay, fart coin, poop coin, grass coin, gold coin, silver coin, anything that has a coin next to it is going to pump. Okay, and then people are going to tell me, Dewald, you said this one is not going to do anything, and look at how high it went. It's not about that for me. I like to get into tokens that has at least some good fundamental background and where the technicals for me makes more sense. Okay, right. Anyways, legends, we're going to spend some time tomorrow to go through that list. Okay, and I will share with you what are my favorite 3. If I could only choose 3, the one thing that I cannot tell anyone else to do, but what I've told everyone here in this live stream, is that the less amount of altcoins you have in your portfolio, you're more than likely going to make more money than a person that has 50 or 100 altcoins in their portfolio, because you can manage them. But it shouldn't be so little that you have concentration risk. Okay, you at least want 5. I would say you at least want 5 altcoins in your portfolio, because if one goes bust, the other ones needs to pick up that loss. If you go all in on one altcoin, okay, and one sees its ass, or that one sees its ass, or even if you have 3 and one goes down, maybe the other 2 won't be strong enough to carry that loss to the upside. So I do recommend that keep it between 5 and 10 maximum in your portfolio. Well, you know, no financial advice. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have 20, 30 altcoins in my portfolio ever again. It's just way easier to manage fewer altcoins because I can do proper technical analysis on them on a daily basis. I can have my alarm set. I know exactly where to take profits. I can manage them. I can have TPs, limit orders, whatever the case might be. But I want to maximize my profits for in case this altcoin season does explode to the upside. I want to be able to manage my portfolio properly because one of the mistakes I must admit that I made during the previous bull cycle, I had way too many altcoins and I couldn't manage them all. Okay. Right. Remember, guys, if you would like to come and trade with me, the best deals that these exchanges has to offer, the links are down in the description, and you only get the best deals by using the links down in the description. Okay, I've got weeks. You still get 20% cash back on the money that you deposit in your features account. I just want to see if I click on that if I'm signed in. No, I'm not signed in. Okay. Right. Also, the first 100 users gets an extra $100 to trade with for free. All you have to do is link your email or your cell phone number to your account. Okay, 20% deposit rewards. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going on here, guys. They've ripped out all the good stuff, okay, for the community over here. They've ripped out all the good stuff. Right, so guys, this is the first link down in the description. Weeks, they also have a competition where you can grab your share of $1 million. You can spin a wheel. You can have the best P&L. You can trade the most volume. Whatever you do with your account, if you excel at something, you'll get a prize, okay? Second link here down in the description on Weeks. I've got BTCC up to $10,000 and then Bluffin, guys. I've got my Bluffin account ready over here. I've got my Bluffin account. I'm not in any trades yet. I'm burning to stick my fingers into a trade. I've loaded some money into this account, okay, and I'm going to start trading here on Bluffin a little bit more aggressively because I do really like the UI of Bluffin, I must say. Right, but anyways, links down in the description if you'd like to come and trade with me and support the channel. Now, let's do a little bit more technical analysis. Okay. Brother man, do you own any AI coins? Yes, I do. Off the top of my head, I have Render and Fetch. Is ICP an AI token? I can't even remember. But the two big ones that sticks out to me is Render, Fetch. I think there's Leia that I bought. One of the community members recommended Leia. I bought a little bag on spot. It went absolutely bonkers to the downside. But I know the rising tide will raise all ships, so I'm just going to leave that to recover by itself. Okay. Hello, Dewald, been a while. Hugo, welcome to the live stream. Link is a good project. Yes, Tadas, Link is a really good project. I'm going to give you guys one clue about my portfolio, my altcoin portfolio, okay? If I had to choose only 3 altcoins, Link will be one of them. Okay, I'll give you guys a little bit of clue today. Link is definitely one of them because it is so sexy from a technical perspective and from a fundamental perspective. I mean, I love the fundamentals as well. And Andy actually got me into Link. I didn't have Link in my portfolio. I always thought it's a really boring OG dinosaur token. And then I was, over here, okay. Talk about dinosaur tokens. I bought Litecoin over there. I never thought I would buy Litecoin. I hate Litecoin, but when I saw the technical analysis, I was like, come here, Litecoin. I love you. Let's be friends, okay? I won't tease you anymore. Okay, XRP, Dewald 90% portfolio is on Sock Smoker coin. Maybe I should start a meme coin, okay? Let's not smoke our socks or something like that, okay? I am so grateful for your TA and advices. I was there when no one wanted to buy. Thank you. I'm so happy and proud. Vericide? Yes. I mean, Thanks for the compliment and the kind words, and for sticking with me here on the YouTube live stream. But and I know most of you here have done exactly that, and I hope that when I told everyone I'm buying here and I'm buying here, basically this zone, when I told everyone I'm buying, I always say no financial advice, of course, when there's fear in the air and whatever the case might be. Okay, I hope there was someone that also said, okay, well, I'm going to nibble a little bit. I'm just going to nibble a little bit with Dewald, okay? And I had clear validations, and I also told everyone I have an exit strategy. If things goes bonkers here to the downside, I'm going to execute my exit strategy. Well, now Bitcoin is at all-time high. And one of the altcoins that I bought was ETH, for example. Okay, but I need to zoom out a little bit here on ETH. We can talk about ETH in a moment. Okay. When ETH was here, ETH is, and I remember, okay, there was a couple of people here on the live stream. I'm not sure if you are here. I remember a lot of people said ETH is dead. Why do you even talk about ETH? Okay, people left the live stream when I spoke about ETH over here. Well, now ETH is up from the lows over here to where price is at the moment, 90% up. 90% up, okay. But luckily, I am now up on my overall portfolio on ETH. I'm very grateful that I'm now out of the bloody waters into the green-blue sky. Okay, so quickly, yeah, I'm not going to go through ETH now. I first want to wrap it up here on Bitcoin. So guys, this is the only bearish case scenario. Let's be mindful that there is a chance always, okay, there's always a bearish and a bullish case scenario. There's a chance that this forms a flat and you fall to the downside and you come and claim the A wave again. Does it have the highest probability? I don't think so at the moment, okay, but it's not invalidated. But even if we do make a larger three-wave corrective structure, okay, because remember, a C wave has to be a 5-wave structure. So if, let's play this out, let's say it does reject and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone's going to look at this as a 5-wave structure to the downside and be like, oh shit, now we're really in a bear market. Okay, no, you're not. Because this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C, and you have a 3-wave corrective structure that eats up the low, and it still continues to the upside and claims that high again before it claims the low at $44,000. $48,000, sorry. So that wraps it up for the bearish case scenario. Now let's talk bullish. Okay, this is what everyone is here for. We want to talk about the bullish case scenarios, Dewald. One of the scenarios, luckily, that I did discuss here on the live stream is to say that what if we are going to form a 1112 and just explode here to the upside? I told everyone it doesn't carry the highest probable scenario because a 1112 never carries the highest probability. Never. You always need to look at a 5-wave structure first. If the 5-wave structure gets invalidated, then you start thinking about 112s, 1112s. That's the rule of probabilities. That's how it basically works, okay? And we were all looking at the structure as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're going to roll over and then everyone's going up. But when we were here, I did a live stream over here, maybe 1 or 2 live streams over here, and I said, guys, I don't think we're going to get this. We're either going to go sideways. Okay, remember, we're either going to go sideways, but I don't think we're going to get here because there was way too many people looking at this level. If we retrace, I'm buying over here like a crazy person. I'm selling my dog, my cat, my wife, my house. I'm going to buy a tent, stay in my parents' backyard. I'm going to buy here. And when I saw the bullish sentiment in this level, I told everyone, I think we're going to go sideways or we're going to continue. We're going to front run the area. Or there was another option. You scare the crap out of everyone. You fall. And just before you take this low, you jump back up. Okay, so I am not surprised that price did not come over here because I know that when too many people are watching a level, you often do not get it. Okay, Right, legends, the best thing that we can do as traders right now, the one thing that I can tell you is that I still don't know what's going to transpire here to the upside. The most bullish case scenario is a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and we are just going to rip here to the upside. Volume needs to start increasing, which it is at the moment. It's not at levels where I like to see it, but it's there. The clues are there. Okay, we have some nice volumes. Next thing that I would like to see is a daily candle close above the all-time highs. Okay, and then potentially it's all systems go. We're going to take off here like a rocket, and it's just going to leave everyone behind. Because if you have a 1 2 1 2 1 2, you need an explosion to the upside. If price is going to continue to do this, and it just chops, and it just chops ever so slightly here to the upside, you significantly reduce the probabilities that this is a 1112, because it needs to go. It needs to rock and roll. It needs to go. Third waves are the most aggressive, most impulsive. You need it to go, okay? Unless it builds another 1 2, and then it rock and rolls back to the upside. But then you're going to have those high time frame candle closes above. Okay, so that's a bullish sign in itself. So that is the most bullish case scenario, is that you have a 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 4 5 4 5. So basically this structure needs to repeat itself here to the upside. Right, that is an insane bullish case scenario, but I have seen it before. Okay, if you go to the previous bull market, if you go to the previous bull market that we had over here and you start zooming in, I mean, look at this. Okay, also very confused. No, this was not the previous bull market. This was, okay, am I losing my, here we go. Right, I think I discussed this yesterday during the live stream as well. Okay, most people must probably look at this structure as well. I just want to show everyone that when you go into an euphoric phase that brings retail, like real retail, back into the market, altcoin starts exploding to the upside. The live stream has 1,000, 10,000 people watching me live over here. Okay, you need that euphoric phase to the upside, because I can guarantee you there was also a lot of people looking at this as a 1 2, is this a 3 4 5? Okay, we need to correct, we need to fall down. Okay, not that it makes any sense. It actually makes sense, better sense as a double 1. This was actually an easier structure now that I look at it. 1 2 1 2, because your 2 overlapped. Okay, it's not allowed to overlap. So maybe some people looked at this as a contracting diagonal. Okay, maybe they were looking at this as a contracting diagonal of some sort. But basically still expecting price to roll back down. Anyways, I'm not going to faff too much about it. But point that I'm trying to make is that you have 5 waves to the upside. You start consolidating. And then out of nowhere, this happens, and then people are like, oh shit, now what? Where do I buy? Well, you buy inside of these consolidation areas. Okay, because that's where you get your entry. I'm now on the daily time frame, but I can guarantee you if I had to zoom into the hour time frame or the 15-minute time frame, I can most probably identify the corrective structures inside of that consolidation and tell you whether the probabilities are higher to claim the highs or whether it's higher to claim the low. So you can assess the probabilities inside of that structure. So basically, these little consolidation areas on the way up gives me the information whether price is going to continue up or whether it's going to continue down. Okay, and that's something that I have spoken about during all of the live streams during this zone where we are right now. Okay, let me just find my bearings over here. Every time we pushed to the upside and we were over here, I kept on saying the probabilities are higher to claim the high before we claim the low, because I could analyze the structures inside to determine whether my bias is up or whether my bias is down. When we were here, I said the probabilities are higher to claim the high before we claim the low, and we went up. When we were here, I kept on saying during this consolidation area, all of my YouTube thumbnails said one more high, one more high, one more. Well, now we've had many one more highs here to the upside because it looked so damn corrective inside of this consolidation area. One more high, one more high, one. Well, we got a nice little high now to the upside. Okay, you never know whether you're going to claim the all-time high or not, but I mean the probabilities were higher to at least look for longs. Okay, because we day traders, I get in, I get out. I don't care whether price went to all-time high or not. Okay, so what I want to do now, legends, is I want to zoom into the smaller time frames. Let's go onto the 1 hour time frame and just quickly look at the probabilities of this structure that is now formed to the upside. So first thing I want to look at is I want to look at the structure from this point. Okay, from the 30th of April, when we were at $92,000. This little pivot over there. Okay, so this could be your 1, your 2, this is your 3, this is part of your A, B, C, that's your C, and now you are busy with your last fifth wave here to the upside. Okay, could be that you're now busy with your last fifth wave here to the upside. So I want to take a trend-based fib, so to measure the fifth wave target. So if you are now in the camp of where you are starting to look for shorts, thinking that the structure needs a little bit of a cool off, okay, because I have to look at all scenarios. You take your fib from the low to the high of 3 to the low of 4. You drag it across. Okay, well, the 0.618 is a fifth wave target. And we smashed it, and we're currently trading above. So this scenario could potentially be invalidated, where the structure is going to extend itself, and maybe this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's just going to continue here to the upside. But the 0.618 is a fifth wave target. But there's another way to measure a fifth wave target. Okay, you take your trend-based fib from the high of 3 to the low of this little structure, you reverse it back to the upside. Just want to see if all guys, I just want to clean up the levels. It's also been invalidated. Well, then we're most probably looking at something else. It's most likely just going to continue here to the upside. Okay, so I think this is the most interesting structure, this one over here. Okay, so I'm ignoring the rest of the structure because it doesn't make any sense. It looks like double 1 2s building here to the upside. Okay, yeah, let's just look at this structure. But this also looks like, and this is typically of bullish structures, they just go 1 2 1 2 3. They correct a little bit, 1 2 1 2 3. They just continue to the upside. Okay, so this could be a 1 2 1 2. And is now busy with a third. Okay, but now even inside of this third wave, you have 1 2, well, 1 2 1 2. It could also be a nested, a mengelmoes of 1 2s here to the upside, which means from a simplicity perspective, the trend is up. So it's still in your best interest to look for longs. It's as simple as that. The trend is up. It's still in our best interest to look for longs. It's a complete, it's really a little bit of a messy structure over here. You have a 1 2, and then you have this wave, and then this mess over here. Okay, so this could be a 3 4 5 ABC. You have all these flats. This is what's interesting, because I know you get a lot of flats with bullish continuation to the upsides, and flats are designed to wipe people out, both on top and both at the bottom. When I see these little structures, these ones, these sharp lightning bolts, it claims the high, it claims the low, and it continues in the direction of the trend. Again, it claims the high, it claims the low, and it continues in the direction of the trend. These little flat structures are designed to reset the market and wipe out the people with high leverage. Because often when people are speculating on massive upwards momentum, they will just jump into a 100x position, close their eyes and hope for the best. And these little flat structures along the way to the upside are designed to wipe out those people and liquidate their positions. Okay, so I know that aggressive momentum to the upside does have a lot of flat structures inside of it. Okay, so legends, from a simplicity perspective, okay, I'm just going to keep it simple over here. Let's switch on the point of controls, the daily levels, the weekly levels, and let's see what we deal with. Okay, so now I want to focus on this little structure. This little structure still looks bullish here to the upside. The only area of real support that we have is the all-time high. You don't want to lose the all-time high. You don't want to close that daily candle below, because then this is going to be a weak. Okay, if price had to fall here after 12 o'clock and price is over here below this, this is going to be a wick on the daily time frame. So you don't want to leave a wick behind. You want to leave the body of the candle above. Okay, so what I want to do is first fib from the low to the high of the structure. First area of support that you have is the 0.236 together with the all-time high. So if price comes back to this zone, okay, we all know that although this is a very shallow retracement in bull market territory, it is a very effective Fibonacci level, because we got the 0.236 during every consolidation over here. When you take a fib from the lows to the highs, 2.36, 2.36, and now again I'm highlighting the 2.36. That could be a bouncing area, okay, where I will be looking for longs depending on the price reaction. Okay, swing failure pattern, usually the best way to get into the trade. And then all the way here down by the by the golden pocket, we have a daily level. So technically, all I'm basically interested in is, regardless of the Elliott wave scenarios, whatever you're looking at over here, okay, I must say it's very difficult to count Elliott wave structures when the price is insanely bullish to the upside, because you don't know if you're still busy with 3, are you now busy with 4, are you busy with 5, or is 3 not finished? Like, it really becomes tricky and very confusing, and often you just need to keep it simple. I have a golden pocket with a daily level. Here by the 50%, I have this naked point of control as well. So if price does decide to come down here, okay, maybe it bounces along the way because nothing goes down in a straight line, I will be playing longs, okay. If price maybe makes a nice little trend, I can play the breakout. And this is exactly the trade that I highlighted this morning to the Legends Pro community. Okay, because we are day traders, this is the 1 hour time frame. I was here on the 5-minute time frame, if I'm not mistaken. So the only trade I highlighted this morning, strangely enough, the only trade I highlighted this morning is I took a fib from the low to the high and I had a trend. That's it. Was it this one? Yeah, it was that one. And I said to the Legends Pro community, well, watch out for the trend and keep an eye on the Fibonacci levels for an SFP. Okay, these Fibonacci levels gives beautiful SFPs, because if you know how to play an SFP, you can have an attempt over here, 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 and you can get stopped out once, twice, 3, 4 times. You can even get stopped out and not lose cash if you know how to play swing failure patterns properly. So you can have levels on your chart and have an attempt for price to turn around to catch that best entry with good risk management. Okay, maybe you get stopped out with a small little loss, but your risk man, because I want price to dip below the level and get acceptance back above. That is where I long. This is where I put my stop loss. That is where I put my long. Most often what happens is price gives me a nice little bounce to the upside that enables me to protect my position. And if price wants to continue to the downside, well, at least I get stopped out with no loss and I can have another attempt. And maybe it rolls back down again and I can have another attempt. And maybe this one continues. But there's another way to get into this trade, because you can get stopped out, you can get stopped out, you can get stopped out. Okay, or this one, you caught the entry, and this is often where I talk about people. Well, if you caught this entry, beautiful, because with a breakout you can add a little bit to that position, because now you have confirmed strength back to the upside, especially if you claim that high, you make a higher high, right? And now you have continuation to the upside. But there's always another way to get into the trade with good risk management. If you play the breakout, you might have to go in with a smaller position because your stop loss is further away. Okay, so the only trade that I highlighted to the Legends Pro community this morning, remember guys, the link for the Legends Pro is down in the description if you'd like to join, is the break of this trend. But I also told the Legends Pro community that keep an eye on the altcoins because they are showing strength, and let's talk about some of them. This is a small little scalp that I took on Theta. Small little 5-minute scalp that I took on Theta. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Right, guys, this is the trade that we highlighted on Theta. And I remember having the conversation here on the live stream, and I said, guys, it doesn't make sense that these altcoins, all of them still needs one more high. All of them that I'm looking at still needs one more high. And Bitcoin was over, Bitcoin was over here, below the all-time high. I was just like, something needs to happen for these altcoins to catch up. So either Bitcoin is going to consolidate sideways, it's going to do something, dominance is going to drop, and it's going to allow the altcoins to pick up. Because when I look at ETH, I told everyone it needs one more high. When I looked at Theta, I told everyone it needs one more high. When I looked at Doge, okay, the other one was Doge, it needs one more high. Okay, here's the trades that I highlighted on Doge to the Legends Pro community. We all know about the Theta trade. Well, now it's rock and rolling here to the upside. I'm not sure who's still in this position. Dylan, one of the coaches in our Legends Pro community, highlighted the ETH trade. It did a beautiful retest, and now it's continuing here to the upside. But I'm still looking at ETH here, for example. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it still needs at least one more high. It can still do another 4, 5. I don't care, but I'm betting on one more high at least here on ETH. Okay, and then you can see here on Doge, for example, okay, this is the big trade that I entered here. Okay, this is the big trade where I entered over here. I had my stop loss below this low. I now de-risk myself ever so slightly. And then this morning, okay, let me see if this trade is still in play. I don't know if I got stopped out. Let's see. Oh man, I got stopped out of this trade. There was a break of trend that I was watching over here. Okay, but luckily I did have a TP at this high, small little TP. Okay, I did have a small little TP, this damn magnet, at these highs because I entered over here. So at least my TP got hit, and now I got stopped out. Okay, I wanted Doge to claim the highs over here, but the point that I'm trying to make is that when you have nice momentum from Bitcoin to the upside, you can zoom into the smaller time frames on some of your favorite altcoins, or just stick to Bitcoin, and you can play the little breakouts. Okay, look at Theta over here. Okay, Theta, Theta, I had a profitable trade on Theta. Small little breakout, claimed the high, I'm out. I'm in and I'm out. I took my profits. Okay, Doge I lost, Theta I won. This profits made up for the loss that I made on Doge. So you can focus on the small little altcoins and just play those little breakouts to the upside. So you can still day trade them. I do like to trade altcoins when Bitcoin has nice momentum behind it. I really like to then jump into the altcoins, and preferably the high caps. Okay, Theta is not really a high cap. Definitely not. But ETH, Doge, Solana, the big ones, Link, Litecoin, those ones are really worth day trading. Okay, right. Cool. Let me go through some comments. Remember to smash up that like button, guys. So, I mean, this Bitcoin trade is almost going to play out, because this was basically, okay, the trade on Bitcoin. You play the breakout, you target the high, your stop goes below the low. Risk to reward is a 2.04, so it's your minimum requirement, and it looks like it wants to go and take out that high at the moment. Probabilities when you are in an uptrend, especially when you are in an uptrend and you take a fib from the high to the low, you have tapped the 0.88, which increases the probabilities you're going to take the high, and you can keep on doing this. Okay, I just want to see something here. Yeah, as soon as you tap that 0.88, especially if you are in an uptrend, you continue increasing the probabilities. Okay, I'm going to claim the high. Okay, it's going to claim the high. Okay, it's going to claim the high. Right? Until you don't tap the 0.88 and you start eating up the lows, then you know, okay, we're going into a deeper corrective structure. Right, so levels to watch out for. Okay, I want everyone to have levels prepared on their chart, because now price is in price discovery. Okay, so the best thing that I like to do in price discovery is apply my trading strategy. Okay, break of trend, I know my rules. Stop goes below the low, I play the breakout, I target the high. If you have a nice little pivot, you want to take a TP1, a TP2, by all means. Okay, you can do that as well, depending on what your plan is. Then I like to use trend-based fib extensions to see, well, where is profit-taking areas to the upside. Okay, if I leave a moon bag open, I also need to know where to take profits for my moon bag. There's no use leaving a moon bag, but you don't know where to take profits, and then your moon bag falls all the way to the downside and stops you out. You're like, ugh, man, I should have taken profits here, and now it fell back down. So guys, this takes practice, okay, and you can do it with every single wave that you see here to the upside. This could potentially be a 1, 2, this is maybe 3, and this is maybe 4, and now we're going to go up for 5. Okay, let's just give the structure a name over here. And what I like to do is to take a trend-based fib from the low to the high to the low, reverse it. Okay, where did we reject? At the 1.618. Man, oh man, I love technical analysis, and whoever is saying technical analysis doesn't work well. Where did we get that rejection? Where was the shorting opportunity? By the way, let me just check something here. Okay, I want to check something here. Let me do this. And this. I think I spoke about this level. Okay, here's Andy giving some nice alpha over here. He also spoke about the same trade. Look at this trade that I highlighted this morning. Keep an eye on the trend. Okay, and SFPs from the Fibonacci levels below. But this morning, the first thing when I woke up, okay, I didn't even brush my teeth yet. I came to look at the price of Bitcoin. I was like, ooh, yesy, this looks interesting. No, not this one. This looks interesting. Guys, we just tapped the 1.618. That's a potential shorting opportunity. And that is where price exactly got the rejection. Fell here to the downside. Okay, the 1.618 is a little bit higher over here. I don't think I pulled the levels properly, but you guys get the point. We rejected at the 1.618, magic number, right? And we fell here to the downside. So there is... Someone asked me the question in the comment section after the live stream, saying, Dewald, how on earth do you short an uptrend? Well, that is how I short an uptrend, because I can get in with exceptionally good risk management. When you are shorting an uptrend, you have to be very selective about where you short, and you have to have exceptionally good risk management. Okay. Right, so legends, if price continues here to the upside, shorting opportunity, if price gets acceptance back below the 1.618. So let's say it spikes up over here and it falls back down. Okay, I'm interested in a short, but mostly I'm interested in a short here at the 2 extension. Okay, there's also another 1.618 I want to point out over here. You take your trend-based fib from this low to the is it this high and this low? No, it's not that one. Okay, from this low, I have to now remember how I pulled it. Yes, this one. Okay, there's another one that I'm keeping an eye on. So it's basically a trend-based fib from this pivot to this high to this low. Keep an eye on that 1.618 as well, because it could move up here, reject at that 1.618. You get a better entry, it falls down, okay, than trying to enter over here. You can get better risk management. It might not come to this level. It might reject over here at $112,000, because I know that there's liquidity building up to the upside. you have another 1.618 level at $112,000, 237, and it might be different depending on which exchange you use to do your analysis on. So I can still short the uptrend with good risk management. Something that I want to point out, what played out last night. Okay, because you all, maybe you've got the question, Dewald, we were looking at a contract. Do I still have it here? We were looking at a contracting. Yes, here we go. Right, we were looking at this scenario. Yesterday, when I ended off the live stream, we were talking about this scenario. Okay, so let's quickly go through it. And there was beautiful shorts with this scenario, by the way, okay? And I saw the Legends Pro community jumped into these shorts. So yesterday we spoke about this scenario. I said, what if this is a contract in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, I think I had my trend a little bit over there, and I was waiting for a three-wave structure. Remember, guys, I was saying I want a three-wave structure, bounce on the daily, and then we go up for 5. We don't always get what we want. Someone in the community asked, Dewald, isn't there a chance for the fourth wave to be in? And I said, I don't like it, but there's definitely a chance for the fourth wave to be in. So that's basically what played out, okay? The fourth wave was in. And then I took a trend-based FIB, okay? So you need to apply the same rules. I need to measure the length of wave 3 because you can see how long wave 1 is. It's longer than 3. There's no doubt. You can just see it with your eyes. You don't even have to measure it, which means that your fifth wave is not allowed to be longer than your third wave. Otherwise, it invalidates the structure. And that is what presented beautiful shorting opportunities last night. Because when you take a trend-based FIB, and this is exactly what I discussed yesterday in the stream, from the low of 3, which is 2, to the high, okay, now you have the measurement. Once you clicked and you clicked, now you have the measurement for your third wave. So I put it at the bottom of 4 to see, well, where can this fifth wave reject? Okay, because the fifth wave is not allowed to tap the 1-to-1 extension. Otherwise, you invalidate the contracting diagonal. So this presented a beautiful shorting opportunity at the 786. It fell to the downside, but then it bounced on the trend. And I saw the pro members were saying double top. Okay, double top. It's not allowed to tap the 1-to-1 extension. And then we got the massive dump here to the downside, falling and hitting support. And right, nothing's ever guaranteed in the market. You need to take profits when you start hitting support, because yes, this could have been a moment where it starts rolling down because it didn't tap the 1-to-1 extension. But then there was insane bullish CVD building up. Okay, for those of you that were trading last night, there was insane bullish CVD building up. And then this happened. And once you tap the 1-to-1 extension, you invalidate the scenario. And then it turns out to be a 1-to, 1-to, maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe, you know, it's going to continue here to the upside. Okay, another way, and I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if Andy actually looked at this scenario as well, because, okay, we often see the same technical analysis. If this is a 1, 2, this is a 3, maybe we're still busy with the 4, or the 4 is in, and now we're busy making a final fifth wave to the upside. Well, okay, let's see, from the low of 1, to the high of 3, to the low of 4. I mean, it's a very low fourth wave. Okay, and some people are going to say, but Dewald, yo, this is long. Look at how short this is. Okay, it does happen in crypto, and especially altcoins. Okay, it's not an invalidation. It does happen. But $116,000, that is a target for a fifth wave. Okay. Then you take a fib from the high to the low. Guys, I know this is technical. You might be saying, yes, this Dewald is just drawing fibs freaking everywhere. I can't keep up. I can't keep up. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. Right, I'm trying to give you guys areas of resistance. Okay. So it basically aligns with the liquidity pool and also that fresh 1.618 level. This is also a fifth wave zone. Okay. And regardless of how you pull the fibs, from a trading perspective, if price gets acceptance back below this high, okay, which is now claimed. So that trade off this morning for the Legends Pro, played out to perfection. Okay, but if price continues up here and it rejects here and it falls back down below the lows, okay, I'm interested in a short, because it could be the completion of a 5-way structure, and then this structure could correct itself. So let's just keep it bullish. Let's keep it bullish here. If you have a 5-way structure to the upside and it falls to the downside, you still expect a higher low and continuation back to the upside. Okay, but I mean, the structure could turn out to be insanely bullish here to the upside. So right, maybe it's just getting started, maybe it's just building up momentum, maybe we'll see. Okay, I just want the body of the daily candle to close above. For me, that will be a bullish sign. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we need to see the body close above. That's a bullish sign. If we leave a wick behind and the body closes below the all-time high, we're most likely going to start correcting a little bit deeper, maybe up until we hit the first area of support down here at $103,000. Right. Extra pepperoni, Mark Dutch, welcome to the live stream. But Jerome Powell, thank you so much for joining my humble live stream here on a Thursday evening. Great to have you here. Dewald, it was me. Best regard, Master D, Alejandro, thank you so much. Steven van den Berg, Jerome Powell in the chat, please rate cuts. Yes, Jerome, what is up with you not wanting to cut the rates? Okay, but I mean, we don't actually need you to cut the rates, because it looks like Bitcoin found a way yet back to the all-time highs, okay, despite all the bearishness in the air. So right, 1.618 number 2 incoming, definitely, but it also aligns with that 5th-way target that I've just highlighted. Okay, I also like to look at CVD. Let's just refresh it. Local strength. I like to focus here on the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame, 3-minute. I don't like to look at the 1 hour. And okay, that's very neutral at the moment. In fact, it actually looks still a little bit bullish. We'll see. Okay, theoretically, we did get an SFP from the highs. Theoretically, we did just swing failure the high. Okay. So for me, this is usually I enter, stop goes above the high, price falls a little bit more, I protect my position. If I get stopped out, at least I can have attempts without losing cash. Okay, because that's the only thing I can control is my risk management. Smash the like for the cuts. Guys, Jerome Powell just said, okay, if you guys smash up that like button, he will give us a rate cut in the next Fed press conference. Okay, you will give us a rate cut. Hi, sorry to ask anything about XRP. Mr. Trick Reek, I'm going to dedicate tomorrow's live stream to only look, well, not only, but to look at a lot of altcoins. Okay, I like to do that on Fridays, but I think if when you start getting alt season and everything starts popping to the upside, no one wants to talk about Bitcoin anymore. Then everyone just wants to talk about alts. But I'm going to dedicate tomorrow's live stream to altcoins. Okay, how long does weeks take to give you the deposit bonus? 3 days. You have to leave your money there for 3 days. What is 3 days? 72 hours, business hours. Okay, and then they airdrop the bonus into your account. Well, that's what they told me, and no one has complained so far. Well, to me at least. Okay. Jerome Powell needs to chill a bit, smoke some weed before mankind making decisions, or smoke your socks. Jerome Powell, yeah, we smoke. Oh, well, yeah, we try not to smoke our socks. Okay. All in theta, ha ha ha, joke. Late to the party, Mr. Junior, welcome. Smash that like button. Yes. Okay. What else? Should we look at one altcoin? Let me see if I can find something here in the chat section. Okay, the only one I saw so far is XRP. I do have a spot bag of XRP, but I hate it. I just don't like analyzing XRP. I do have analysis prepared on XRP, but I don't know if I want to go through it. I'm looking for something a little bit more exciting. Okay, I'm not too excited about XRP. I think, you know, it has a $6 target where I'm going to cash out, but I'm not sure if I'm listed to look at XRP today. Okay, right, let's see. XRM, SUI, ETH. Sorry to bring bringing that up. Pepe, SUI. Guys, now I don't know which one to do. Brett, please. ETH. Okay, so there's more requests for ETH at the moment. Okay, let's look a little bit at ETH. Let's look quickly here at ETH. So legends. First, local structure, 4-hour time frame. This is a structure that I've spoken about for a while now. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still expecting one more high. The break of the trend. This was a trade that was highlighted by Dylan, supported by Elliott wave theory, because, you know, when Dylan, one of the coaches, he does a lot of altcoin trades every single day. He gets in, he gets out, he gets in, he gets out. Some play out, some don't play out, but his win rate is still high. So he's still making a lot more money than what he is losing because he practices good risk management. I remember yesterday when Dylan highlighted this ETH trade when it broke out. Okay, people weren't sure, and it's normal. Okay, it broke out over here, and he highlighted this exactly. He said he wants to see this. Okay, and he had TP1, TP2. Okay, I have a TP3 all the way up here because this is a fifth wave target. You can go to these, but you know, this is my minimum fifth wave target. So when ETH did the retest, it scared a lot of people out of the trade. Okay. For me, it was a good buying opportunity. I already took profits here by the highs. So in a nutshell, okay, I'm now talking about the trade that was highlighted yesterday. The Legends Pro community know about this trade. If you had the guts to hold on to that trade and put your stop loss where it was supposed to be, you would still be in this trade. Okay, so looking at the structure, okay, I'm still at least expecting one more high. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So I'm still looking at the highs to be claimed. And remember what I said, guys, on Bitcoin when it was trading down here. Okay, when Bitcoin was trading down here, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I told everyone it's very strange for me that when I look at the altcoins and every single altcoin that I'm looking at, it looks like it needs one more high. And, you know, now we're talking about Bitcoin having the 5-wave structure. It's going to start correcting to the downside. And it's just like something doesn't make sense. So the altcoins actually gave us the clue that Bitcoin is going to continue momentum to the upside because they need one more high to complete the 5-wave structure. So what I like about ETH, okay, it can continue to the upside. But let's say, okay, the structure plays out. ETH pumps over here. Even to the 1.618, because that's also a fifth wave target, but you basically want a higher high over here. You could have a completed 5-wave structure for ETH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I expect a corrective structure, a higher low for continuation back to the upside. So maybe Bitcoin is approaching a zone where it's going to start rejecting soon. Because when I look at ETH, once this high is made, Bitcoin needs to reject to pull the alts back down with it. Okay, so maybe Bitcoin does not have a lot of legs left before it's going to start rejecting. Theta, the same thing. Just to show you guys the comparison. Okay, let me go here onto the 4-hour time frame. Okay, Theta, I said to everyone, exactly the same as ETH. Okay, it's a little bit less bullish because it's only a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not a double 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still expecting one more high. Doge, still expecting one more high. Okay, it would help if I go onto the 4-hour time frame. Okay, Doge actually looks way better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Doge actually looks like it wants to go a little bit higher. Okay, but I just counted it from this structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still expecting a high. Okay, so once these altcoins have claimed these highs, I like to look at the altcoins for clues in terms of what Bitcoin can also do next and vice versa. Once these altcoins have made these highs, maybe that's going to be the time for Bitcoin to say, okay, we've had enough now, let's now start correcting. And then those 5-wave structures on all the altcoins also starts correcting itself. So there is potentially on the horizon a nice little pullback to get into your favorite altcoin at a better price where it is right now. Okay, so let's play this out. If the structure had to play out on ETH, for example, where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say it rejects, it gets acceptance back below the high, and it starts falling here to the downside. This could be the only pullback that we are going to have before the real fun starts to the upside. Because, ladies and gentlemen, now I need to zoom out. Let me take the FIP out the way. Let me show you from a bullish case scenario what you could expect the next move to be. But now we just have to assume that this structure is going to play out the way that I've painted it over here. Okay, so you would now look at this. Trend-based FIP from the low to the high, well, to wherever this high is going to end, to the low. We don't know where we're going to find support. This looks like a good support area over here. Okay, 618. 50% Fibonacci. Let me reverse it to the upside. I think this is where things are going to get crazy. Okay. So, right. Next target. Oof. And I know you guys are already seeing what I want to say. The guys that's the loyal followers here are already seeing what I want to say. Okay. That is the move you want to be a part of. Once this retracement happens, and it can be a shallow retracement, because when you are in real bull market territory, you could have very shallow retracements to leave these people behind. So one of two things, like I always say, is either going to happen. Okay, you're going to make the final high, you're either going to chop sideways and then continue to make the wave 3, or you're going to scare the hell out of these people. It's going to drop. People are going to think the bear market is back, and it makes an extreme higher low, but you know, almost claiming the lows, but it's still a 1, 2, and then it goes up. Okay, but we will assess the correction. Maybe there's a nice little break of trend. We can get into that trade. Okay, but that could potentially be the last buying opportunity before the party officially starts. So this is the warm-up band, guys. This is the warm-up band. This is the band that plays before the main show, the wave 1. It's the most difficult wave, believe it or not. This little wave over here is considered in Elliott wave theory the most difficult wave to get into because of this. No one wanted to buy here. They first want to see a sign of strength. Okay, well, you need price to move up before you can see a sign of strength. Okay, well, now price moved up so far in a 5-wave structure. So now you have a sign of strength. And then the corrective structure needs to be a 3-wave structure, but most critically, it needs to form a higher low. A high, a higher low. Now you're changing market structure. You go up, higher high, higher low. Higher high, and we'll see. Because the one thing I also have to highlight, although I have $4,500 as a target here for the third wave, third waves can get very explosive. They don't have to stop at the 1.618. They can just rocket. Okay, I can't remember which of the meme coins it was, if it was Pepe or I think it was Pepe that actually tapped the 4 or the 5.618 on its third wave in November, December. Okay, so this is my minimum target, but I want to be a part of this wave before it happens, because once this wave takes off over here and retail starts coming back, they're going to want entries. Okay, they're going to want entries. I want to be positioned here. Okay, well, I am actually positioned very nicely to the downside. Right, so this is basically what I see on ETH. From a I just want to wrap it up here on the daily time frame. So let me take all the noise here out the chart, clean it up so everyone can see what is cooking. This one. Okay, let me zoom out and look at this entire structure. Where is my folder? Here we go. Right, guys, you all know the structure. Well, the loyal followers here know the structure. I have so often spoken about the structure. So from a macro perspective, looking at ETH, since the previous bull cycle, the reason ETH has not performed and has been frustrating the living hell out of everyone, the altcoin that's not performing, and this is something, I actually have a live stream that I did last week, and there's an ETH logo on the live stream. I can't remember what it was called, okay? Very few views on that live stream, but I spoke about this scenario. The reason ETH has not performed is because it was busy with a larger corrective structure, and now it's finished. So the time for ETH to shine is now. I think now, during this last section of the bull market, ETH is going to surprise a lot of people that sold their bags. It's not performing, it's not doing anything. Well, guess what? It was part of a larger corrective structure. In a W, ABC, you get an ABC and a W. You can get a W, X, Y in a X. Okay, this is what I got. ABC, W. Corrective structure in X. ABC in Y. Now you have a W, X, Y in an X wave. Beautiful. The levels balance, I measured them out. Makes perfect sense. Because your X wave retraced so high, tapping the 0.88 from a Fibonacci perspective, you increase the probabilities that your Y wave is not going to claim the low of W. This is something that I often speak about as well. Okay, but then inside of your last push to the downside, you also have an A, B, C, a three-wave structure. And when I measured this three-wave structure, you tapped C-wave targets. When I measured the W, X, Y, okay, from this high to the low to the high to measure the Y-wave target, you tapped a Y-wave target, you tapped a C-wave target, and for me, this was the moment to pay attention. That was the moment. That is where your corrective structure that took many years, okay, 2 or 3 years to complete, came to an end. And now we could potentially go back up, but there's a very high probability, okay, nothing's ever guaranteed, that you're going to come and claim this high before you claim this low. There's two 0.88 taps over here. Let me show everyone. You know, the 0.88 taps, especially on the higher time frames, does the probabilities increase for that? Okay, if I go to the log scale, I zoom in, and I take a FIB, let me show you, a FIB retracement from the all-time high of ETH to the low over here, and I drag it across. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 times you tap the 0.88, increasing the probabilities that you're going to claim the high before you claim the low. And based on the corrective targets and how I've measured it, we have bounced at a C wave target and at a Y wave target. So there's a high chance that this is the low for ETH, and it's going to claim the all-time high before it claims this low. So there you got it. A very detailed analysis here on the price of Ethereum. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed. I know you guys are showering me here with altcoin requests. I unfortunately don't have time to go through all of them. I will dedicate tomorrow's live stream to only look at, mostly look at altcoins. We will obviously look at Bitcoin as well. ICP, yes, it's in my list. Dog, we can have a look at that. Sui ICP, please. My favorite meme coin for ETH is Woyak. Okay, target for the SFP for the BTC high. Lorenzo, I have gone through all the levels to the upside already. Okay, so I don't want to really go and duplicate the technical analysis that I've already done. Right, legends, thank you so much. Remember, the exchanges that I use are always down in the description, where you get the biggest sign-up bonuses and offers that these exchanges have to offer. Only the links down in the description. Remember to smash up that like button, and until the next one, just for now.